This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to the final video in the Clone Wars Year 2 Part 1. And if you're ever wondering why I split these into multiple parts for a year and I do it in two halves, that's because just in the recap part, I have to go and split it up because currently I'm at over an hour just with the recaps I've already done, and if I did the full season for a year, I would have to go and make it like 2 hours long, and I won't be putting a file that big on. An hour's already pushing it. But this week I have finally a great arc to go over since it's been pretty mediocre ones for the last few weeks, and I'm going into the Umbara arc. You know how great this arc is if you've watched it, so I'm going to go straight into it. The Republic is attempting to retake the world of Umbara for its strategic importance. After breaking through the blockade, the Jedi generals prepare to go and lead off in different attack forces to try and take the planet. Obi-Wan Kenobi leads one, Anakin Skywalker leads the 501st, and the Jedi Masters Pong Krell and Sazy Tin are leading another attack. And with it, we begin to follow the 501st as they go and attempt to drop off and an attack with the Republic forces to try and take Umbara, needing to use lights and a lot more advanced systems with the planet of Umbara being covered in eternal darkness. They go and land, dropping off ATRTs as they begin their attack. Anakin and Rex go and lead an attack against the Umbaran forces who are firing against them. The clones are doing well for now, even though they do come close to one of Umbara's many deadly perils within it. A creature that has many tentacles that tries to eat the clones, but Fives is able to kill it. As the Republic forces continue to move forward, as the 501st takes a brief rest, and Anakin and Rex go and begin to scout out what's going ahead and make plans for the future. But suddenly they are ambushed by the Umbarans, and with it they are being overwhelmed. Rex sees that there is no way they can win this in a conventional means and suggests that an airstrike is called. Anakin agrees, and Rex also suggests for them to get clear of this area just in case the bombs overshoot. Anakin agrees and draws his forces back. It turns out that Rex was correct because the bombing run did overshoot, and if they stayed where they were, they would have all been killed. With this, the Republic has gained a small victory, but a Republic gunship comes by, and General Pong Krell comes out, telling Anakin that he has been requested to return to Coruscant immediately by the order of the Supreme Chancellor, and for the time being, Krell will take command of the 501st. Although Anakin doesn't want to go, he does understand that the Chancellor would have a good reason for calling him, and he prepares to leave, introducing Krell to Rex, saying he is in his second in command. And Krell goes to Rex immediately after Anakin leaves and tells him he leads in a very different style to Anakin. He is very by the books, and he wants his orders to be followed without question. He orders them to march forward, and they continue on. And with it, they are going on a 12-hour march, and Rex goes to General Krell by the request of the rest of his men to see if they could get a short break since they've been marching for 12 hours straight. But Krell wants his strategy to be followed without question, telling him that they will continue marching as long as he says so. And instead of addressing Rex by his name, he addresses him by his CT number. And after some more time marching on, Krell goes with his strategy, although Anakin had a plan to go and launch a series of strikes against the capital. Krell wants him to march straight forward along the main road towards the capital, and Rex thinks that this plan is completely ridiculous and it will lead to far too much death when they already had a sound strategy. Krell says that he will not have his orders questioned and orders the march, telling them not to retreat under any circumstances. Continuing on to the march, Krell stays behind to watch the forces go, and many of the clones are complaining, saying that Krell has to be insane and the strategy makes no sense. And even though Rex disagrees with the strategy and he doesn't think it's right, he points out that he is the general and they have to follow orders to go and continue. With this, they continue on and they soon learn that the road has been mined. Two troopers sadly learn this out the hard way after stepping on one, and an ambush by the Umbarans is sprung, and with it, Rex is forced to make a hard call and retreats his forces, seeing there's no way for them to win. Returning, Krell is completely furious that Rex has disobeyed his orders, even though some of the clones are afraid. Rex manages to hold his ground and points out that Krell's strategy is completely flawed and it cost lives of men who didn't need to die. Krell just simply dismisses Rex and tells him to leave. As the battle continues to go on, now that they have managed to win this battle for now, Krell is contacted by Obi-Wan Kenobi, who orders them to go and take a Umbaran airbase, which is gaining support for the capital. And with it, Krell goes and orders his troops to march on. And with it, his orders include them going straight through a gorge that will leave them extremely vulnerable to attack. Even though Rex once again puts his objections, Krell goes with his usual strategy of saying that his orders will not be questioned and tells them to continue on the march. Many of the clones who've had a lot more experience are completely furious with this, seeing Krell as being even more insane than they thought, with him basically telling them march to their deaths. Although some clones who are younger, like a clone named Dogma, are more willing to accept these orders, saying that they have to follow every order without question. But some of the older clones, like Fives, go and continue to question Krill's orders, thinking that he is not fit to be leading them, although Rex convinces them they have to follow orders, at least for now. Continuing to march on, they are ambushed by more Umbaran forces, and with it they have many powerful weapons, including a worm-like machine that is attacking them and is very hard to go and damage. And with it, it takes them a while just to go and take them down with a missile launcher and thermal detonators. With it, they are barely able to take one out, and forces continue to come as Umbaran tanks begin to come and march on. And back behind in the entrance to the gorge, Krell watches from safety, and although the clones want to go help their brothers that are ahead, Krell refuses the order them to go forward and wants them to go and do this themselves. And during the fight, Rex is just forced to continue to take cover and try and figure out a better strategy. And with it, Rex gets an idea for a plan. And with it, he goes and contacts Krell about it. He tells Krell how he sent two of his troopers, Fives and Hardcase, to go and infiltrate the Umbaran base as they hold them off and they could use the Umbaran's own technology against them. Krell is furious, thinking that he is wasting time. He demands him to be called back and to continue their frontal assault on the base. With it, we see as Fives and Hardcase are going to infiltrate the base and continue on, managing to sneak in and steal two Umbaran starfighters, which they used to go and destroy the Umbaran forces, managing to take the base. Even though Krell did not like the circumstances that led to it, he is still glad that they were able to go and take the Umbaran base. Using it as a staging area, Krell and Rex are contacted by Obi-Wan Kenobi, who says that they need help retaking the capital, and with it, there's also problems with the supply lines being restored. Even though they did take this airbase, they are using a separatist ship to go and supply the capital with weapons and using it to attack. And with this, Krell is ready to go and assist with the taking of the Umbaran capital. He tells Rex they will go out in 12 hours to go and help with it. And Rex goes to pass the news down to the other clones. While the clones again are mainly furious, Dogma once again goes and tries to support General Krell, saying that he has to have a greater view of the war and the battle, but the clones are still really suspicious, and they have managed to go and break through the Umbaran codes and have figured out how to fly the starfighters. And with it, they're going to go and try and fly the starfighters inspired by how Anakin Skywalker destroyed a droid control ship as a child. Using the Umbaran codes, they'll be able to get into the Separatist supply ship and destroy it. Rex thinks it's a good plan and brings it to General Krell, who thinks that it's a dumb idea, and he says he can't waste any troops on this, even though it's a little hypocritical of him saying that since he goes and wastes many troopers' lives, which is something that the other clones see, and they are still willing to go along with it. And with it, a few of the clones are still willing to go and do this, but they have to break up the conversation after Dogma enters into the barracks, knowing they can't trust him with how loyal and by the books he is. And with it, Fives goes and tells them that they need to follow their orders, while Fives finds this ridiculous, saying that they are not droids and they are independent. And with it, they go off. And in the hangar, they are trying to go and master flying the Umbaran starfighters. And Hardcase accidentally goes and fires off a torpedo. And with it, they are forced to go and explain this to Krell, lying, saying there was a booby trap placed inside the starfighters. And with it, Krell thinks this is a thing to prove his point and says that they can't go and use these fighters for the attack. But the clones are still willing to go and do this. And the clones, Fives, Jesse, and Hardcase go and plan to do this attack. And the clones go and inform Rex that they are going to be disobeying orders. Rex says he's not going to stop them, but he also can't go and protect them after Krell figures out what they have done. And with it, the clones understand and accept the risks and continue on. And that night, Dogma wakes up and realizes that the three clones are gone, asking Tup what's going on. Tup, who does know the plan, is playing dumb, but Dogma doesn't want to hear it and tells Tup to come with them because they'd be committing treason also by not telling Krell. And with it, the fighters have already managed to launch, and Krell goes and demands to know what's going on. Although Rex said he can't go and fully cover for them, he says that he went and ordered the clones to go and do a recon of the battlefield to see how things went, and Krell tells him that he wants these reports and once they arrive, and Rex goes to leave, running into Dogma and Tup and sends them back to the barracks. And as this happens, the Republic forces of the three clones inside of the Umbara starfighters go and manage to get inside the hangar and begin to attack. Although ray shields haven't put up, Hardcase has an idea. Grabbing one of the Umbaran weapons, he uses it to bring it up to the reactor, telling the other clones to get out. Hardcase sacrifices himself, blowing up the Separatist ship as Fives and Jesse fly away to go and land, and both are placed under arrest. Even though Rex tries to claim responsibility, Fives says that it was all his idea and that he should suffer the consequences. And Krell court martials them both and says they will soon be executed for their crimes. And with it, he continues on. Rex goes and tries to convince Krell that this is wrong and the clones should not be punished for this. But Krell is so fierce he goes and orders their immediate execution. And with it, Rex goes and is really troubled to tell both Fives and Jesse this, and he has brought up the clone firing squad is told to go and fire, and all of them go and decide to not execute their brothers, saying this is wrong after Fives goes and gives them a speech about how they should not be executed for this because they did the right thing. Dogma is furious and says they need to be executed, and Rex tells him good luck finding anyone to go and do it. And with it, Krell is still furious by all of this, and he is wanting to go and do more, but a call comes in from a clone and tells them that the Umbarans have went and taken clone armor and are planning an attack. With it, Krell orders Rex to take forces to go and fight against them. And with it, Rex goes and moves forward as he hears blaster fire begin. An attack is begun, and they fight with who they believe to be clones that are Umbarans in clone armor. But Rex quickly realizes that they are not Umbarans in clones armor, and they are actually clones. Completely horrified by this, he goes and pulls off the helmet of one of the others in the 212th Attack Battalion, and with it, it's revealed what has happened. All of the clones immediately stop firing and are completely horrified what has happened. And with it, Rex goes up to the leader that kicks is trying to go and heal, and it is Waxer. Waxer tells them that General Krell ordered them to go and attack Umbarans in clone armor, and after that, Waxer passes away. The clones are completely horrified by this, seeing Krell as a traitor who just ordered them to be killed. Rex goes and tells the other clones that what they're about to do is highly treasonous, but it has to be done, and anyone who wants to step down should do it now, and no one goes and does anything, all being willing to go and arrest Krell for his crimes and ordering friendly fire. Coming in, Dogma is the one who does go off to the side as the other clones go to march in, and they go and surround Krell, telling him that he's being under arrest for treason, and with it, Krell is laughing, saying he didn't think they would be smart enough to go and figure out his plan, and just tells how much he hates clones and thinks so little of them. He ignites his two double-bladed lightsabers, cuts through many clones, and jumps out. The surviving clones go to pursue Krell, and Dogma stands outside, saying that they cannot go and do this, they need to remain loyal. And with it, Rex tells them that they have to be willing to go and make their own decisions, and being a soldier does not mean doing everything that you're told without question. And they're not droids, so they're able to make their own decisions. And with this, Dogma sees there's no chance in winning here and is taken into custody by the other clones. And with it, the clones will continue to chase Krell into the forest of Umbara and begin to fight with him. And Tup, being inspired by the attack that happened on Fives previously, goes and lures Krell towards one of the plants, which grabs him, and he is forced to fight that off. And with it distracting him, they are able to shoot him with a stun blast and imprison him. Going down to interrogate him, Rex goes and talks to Krell, trying to figure out why he's done this, and Krell admits that he is a separatist sympathizer and wants to join them and become apprentice to Count Dooku. He says how he has foreseen that a new order is coming to control the galaxy, and the dark side will be in command, and with it, he wants to go and join the separatists, and Dogma is completely betrayed by this, saying that he trusted him, and how could he do it, and Krell tells him that he was counting on blind loyalty like Dogma's to go and have his plan work. And with it, Rex is called away briefly and is told that the Republic forces have taken the capital, and the remaining Baran forces are going to try and take the airbase. And with it, Rex has a hard choice to make. He knows that he can't let Krell live because if they fail, it will be far too dangerous for Krell to go and join the Separatists, knowing so many Republic secrets. And he goes to try and execute him, but he can't do it. And a blaster shot does rig out, but it is Dogma, who was recently released from his cell to be taken out, who went and executed Krell, saying that he had to because of his betrayal, using Fives' blaster. Dogma knows what he did was wrong, but it had to be done. And with it, Dogma is taken into Republic custody for going and killing a general, but with it, they have managed to have an ultimate victory, securing the world of Umbara. And yeah, this is just such a great arc. It barely makes it outside of my top three, as you'll see. Well, technically be in the top three for now, since the other arcs that would go up above it happen far later into the Clone Wars. But yeah, with it, I just really love this arc, and it is such a great arc, but if it wasn't for the inhibitor chip arc, this would have had a lot of contradictions with Revenge of the Sith and make you question why the clones did not execute Order 66. But yeah, that is fixed with the inhibitor chip, and that all makes sense now. And even before, it's just still such a great arc, and that could be the only thing, if the inhibitor chips didn't exist, you could say is wrong with this arc, because it is truly amazing. You get to see the clones truly take the leading role in this. You get to see a terrible commander like General Krell, and just how much everyone hates him, and how he was just a bad commander. And I like the twist of how he was a true monster and a villain. Yeah, I have not, well, remember how I would have reacted to this originally, because I watched all of Clone Wars when it aired, so I'm not sure if I was able to pick up on the fact that Krill was truly a traitor. I don't fully remember how much I loved it when I was younger, but now, just with how complex the storyline is, I just really love this arc, and it is so interesting, and it's so much fun, and such a great storyline, and something I really do enjoy. Yeah, with it, I honestly just have so many things that I could say that are so great about it. The storyline has always been a favorite of so many who watch the Clone Wars, and with it, you have such great stuff. General Krell is a character that many people do hate, but that's because that's how he was designed. He's not a character you're supposed to like, he's a character who you're supposed to hate, and that's why he's such a great character. In basic terms, he is basically what Admiral Holdo should have been in The Last Jedi, and what many people see her as, because she was basically doing the exact same things as Krell, just with the fact that she was not a traitor. And yeah, with that, it really hurt her as a character, because she was just doing it for no apparent reason. And Krell is someone you definitely would hate, but once you understand it and you see how the people are reacting under it, it's really great to see. And having him be evil, although it is a little over the top, and I think it could have still worked if he was just someone that was an extreme Jedi and extremely loyal to the Republic. I still think it works with him being a traitor, and it has a nice moment for Dogma to go and execute Krell. And yeah, it's just such a great arc. So many awesome things happen in it, and the moments are just so impactful as you get to see how everything goes down, and the Jedi go and prepare to just continue on with this war. And you get to see how much the clones have become independent thinkers, and it makes the tragedy of the inhibitor chips even greater, since you see how Jesse was still willing to defy orders in this, and he is forced to go and do Order 66 because of the inhibitor chip he has, and that just makes his death in the finale even more tragic. And what happens to all the other clones even more tragic, because this is the one that focused on the clones the most, and is the most clone-centric storyline of all of them. And it's just such a great storyline I truly enjoy. But let's just go to the ranking, and I'll give some final thoughts on it. And I gave this a score of 99.5, giving it a spot to have maybe one arc above it, because I'm not sure. I feel like there's one that could go above it, but I'm not fully sure. So I just want to have that spot there just in case. But still, I think that the arc is really solid. As I said, I love this arc and I love what it does with the clones. And this deserves to be in what is currently second place, although it'll move up to either fourth or fifth place by the end of it. But still, I really just love this arc. But let me know what you think of the Umbara arc in the comments. And I'll see you all in the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.